Yeah, so we can get on to Buster's Trip to Victory Lane. Mike, we got a children's book coming out today. It is out today.
It's out
on
today.
Shelves, right?
It's out
Go
today.
buy it.
Anywhere you buy books, Buster is there.
Yeah.
Also, you can go to DaleJr.com/Buster.
So
and buy it there.
Yeah, let me tell you about this little book. So I got 2 little girls, and when you get kids, all your friends give you books. So I now have like a mini library of children's books, hundreds and hundreds of books, multiple copies of some of the same books. And they only read probably about 2% of these books. And so the question in my mind was like, well, what the hell is it about a book that a kid draws the kid to? And that's their book. So like Goodnight Moon is a book that Isla loved. And, even today, she still likes to have the book read to her, or still likes to read the book. And there's other books that I thought that they would love that they just don't dig, And so it made me kind of curious as to what is it about children's books that kids are entertained by? What are some of the key elements? Obviously the art, but the storyline as well, the characters. And so I got an opportunity to work with a company to be able to develop this book. Same company that we worked with, Mike, to do our last book.
Yeah, Racing to the Finish.
Racing to the Finish.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, man, you want to do a kid's book? And we're like, yes, let's give it a shot. So Buster. Why Buster, right? If you look at the car and the art around Buster, this was really fun. We actually got to work with a lot of different artists, and we kind of landed on one we really liked. The car itself is a bit of a nod to my grandfather Robert G's car that my dad actually drove a few times in the 70s, a dirt car, Camaro. We talked about that car on this show several times. Buster is Dad's nickname when he was a little boy. You didn't know that?
I did not know that.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah. I thought it was somebody's dog.
No. Are you kidding me? Buster was Dad's nickname when he was like 3, 4, 5 years old.
All right.
And so, yeah, there's 2 little Easter eggs. Jimmy Jam, who's one of the characters in the book, is a nod to Jimmy Johnson, because Jimmy Jam's kind of Jimmy Johnson's alter ego.
That's the one you've been trying to get out. Come on TV.
When Jimmy pulls an all-nighter, you'll meet Jimmy Jam.
Mm-hmm. We also have a Jimmy Jam in the shop.
Now that is true.
Employed, yeah.
Coach Hogg. Coach Hogg is kind of a nod to Gary Hargett, who was sort of my first real mentor when I started racing, and I ran late models. And Gary was a hog farmer, or at one point in his life had been a hog farmer, and so I used to walk out back the shop and look at these pigs that he had walking in the woods in the pasture. They're massive, right? Anyhow, Coach Hogg is a nod toward him.
That explains why Hargett Racing's logo had a pig on it.
So, yeah. So
that all makes sense.
That's right. So there's the team that they drive for is Punchy Motorsports. You'll remember Dr. Jerry Punch. You will. Right?
Yeah.
Well, his nephew, a good friend of mine who recently passed away, his nickname was Punchy. That's a nod to him. Mm-hmm. My friend Punchy was kind of a guy that used to go with. He was a buddy that would go with me to the racetrack when I raced late models, and he just recently, like I said, passed away. So I wanted to name the racing team after him.
There's another Easter egg.
What is that?
Do you know that? I don't even think you know this. Do you know there's a picture of you as a kid in there?
Really?
Yeah.
Where? In the book?
In the book.
I mean,
it's a sketch, of course, but it's taken off of here.
All right, I'm looking. I did not notice that.
And Kelly as well.
Huh.
You're not going to find it.
Oh, I'm not.
I don't think so.
Well, then help me, Mike.
Look.
Oh,
it's on this
page. Okay, let me look for it.
There's a page with a lot of kids.
It's like, where's Waldo?
Riveting podcasting.
But where's Dale?
I mean, is that me right there?
That's it, yeah. That's you.
Really?
Yeah.
Who told you that?
I would know. I was part of the construction of the book. I would know. That was taken from an actual photo, and they drew it.
You know, one of my favorite things about the book is in the very back on the jacket of the book itself, there's a little blurb here about me with a picture of me, Nicole, and Isla. And I took
that's right.
that picture.
That's actually a funny story.
Yeah.
That's where you and I don't even know if you know this, but you said, I go to Dale and I'm like, we need to, have the author's photo, whatever it is that goes on the back of the book, right? And he sends me a photo with an iPhone filter. Like it's like, those sketches thing. And then you tell everybody, your kids particularly, they're like, oh, look at this art. And we're like, that's not art. It'll never work in real life. Nobody will ever take you seriously. Well, then he sends me this photo that has been
that I filtered.
That has been filtered with one of those, Etch-a-Sketch type apps that he has on his phone. And I'm like, oh my God, the publisher's going to fall out of their seat over this one. And they loved it. Of course they did. They loved it. They loved it. They oohed and awed. They said, this is the greatest thing ever. And so now the photo itself is cute. I don't want to knock the photo because you got, Isla and Nicole. Yeah. Nicole's never taken a bad photo, just so you know. Like, that's just a fact. And so it actually works quite well in this book, doesn't it?
Because I believe when you look at the actual art of the book, it kind of leans into it's like a real picture that leans a little bit into the art of the children's, the drawings of the cars and the characters and so forth. So I think in a book about concussions, yes, probably not a great picture, but in a kid's book, it's kind of got this sort of fun element to it.
Yeah.
But I love that. I just took that picture in my house. I propped the phone. I think I propped the phone up and took the photo.
That's what I presumed.
Yeah. It ain't like Amy holding the phone taking it for me. You know what I'm saying? I think Amy was gone. And I didn't take it for this reason. I took the picture to send it to Amy or somebody, right? Hey, look at us. We're having a great time. Because I think maybe Amy was out of town or something. I don't remember what it was, but it was kind of like, hey, we got it.
You wanted to make it look like you'd had things under control.
Yeah, we got that. Yeah.
Kids aren't in the hospital.
So like months, and I put a little filter on it. Months later, I put the filter on it when you asked for it.
No, I know. I remember. Yeah, that's the part I didn't love.
Months later, he's like, hey, man, I need a picture. I'm like, got the perfect picture.
Got the perfect picture. And then he throw the filter on it. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. Now we're going to go do this thing. And this is not going to work. And I'm going to have to explain to them. And then I'm going to have to go back to you and say they didn't love it. And then, of course, I was wrong. They loved it. And I think it actually does work. So I'll give you that one.
Buster's trip to Victory Lane. I think I'm going to slide on over to a few bookstores locally and sign a few copies. So follow along my social media, Dirty Mo Media's social media, because in the next probably 48 hours, I'm going to hit up a few bookstores or a bookstore and hand sign some of the copies there, and then I'll let you know where those are so you can go grab them. It's fun because me and Mike work on this together, and me and Mike can craft the storyline however we kind of want,
You actually were very involved in that. Like, there was a draft, but then Dale Jr. would go in there and change things. The way he treats like a paint scheme, when it's like, oh my God, like there's nothing else that matters in the world than, a pinstripe on a car or where the valence is or this, that, and the other. Well, he treated the book with the same type of attention. And so, very well done. Congratulations on the book. Coming out the day after your birthday, this has been a good week for you. But this is available again at dalejr.com/Buster or any of the bookstores, anywhere you go, Amazon. And hey, listen, fans, you can get on a children's book bestseller list too, All right, I'm just going to leave that right there. Go do your thing. All right, it would help us. You buying these books gets us on a bestseller list. We'd love to do that. Yeah. So, all right.
My favorite part's going to be finding out what the kids like about it.
Yeah.
What they like about Buster's book.
Hey man, this book right here may make the next generation of race fans. You never know.